This is a Bessacarr Cameo 525 SL. Just going to take you around the van and show you how it operates. In front of the van you've got your jockey wheel, hitch and handbrake. And in the front locker you've got your two gas bottle tie downs and your gas regulator on the bulkhead. Gas pipe work is available here on site separately should you need it. Then got the water pump connection, which very simply pull back the blue trigger and push the pump into the side of the Caravan, and the water pump will drop down inside the aqua roll itself. So the water pump will actually drop down inside the aqua roll. I'll show you how to fill the system once we go inside the van. You've then got your Truma heating and hot water flue. You need to remove this cover anytime you're running the gas systems on board the Caravan. I would advise you get in the habit of removing it before you even turn on anything on inside the Caravan. You've got your wind down leg on either side on the Caravan. At the front, and they are there for stabilising the Caravan, not lifting the Caravan. If you lift the Caravan with the legs, it could potentially damage the floor of the Caravan. You've then got your battery box, so you've got your mains power lead coming into the side of the van and your quick release terminals on top of the battery and battery bracket at the bottom to hold it in place. Do advise during the winter that you disconnect the battery. Don't ever store it on a concrete floor as it could potentially damage the battery. Then you've got your motor mover and your wheel nuts. The motor mover will demonstrate while you're here on site and will also torque the wheel nuts to the correct setting before you leave site with the van. Going to the back of the van, you have your toilet flush tank. It takes 3.5 litres of water in here and a cap full of the pink fluid prior to use. So you fill it up, then that would be your flush system for the Caravan. In the bottom, you have your toilet waste cassette. You release it by pulling up the yellow handle at the bottom and pulling the cassette towards you. It's out. Then you've got your cover on top there that seals up the cassette once the cassette's been used. The turnout neck turns out so you can tip the waste away, and the yellow cap is a measure for your pink and blue fluid. On the back of the cassette you've got a yellow pressure relief button, so when you're tipping the waste away it doesn't spit and splatter back at you. Like I said, that would be 1 litre of water in there and a cap full of the blue fluid prior to use. On the rear of the Caravan you've got your two wind down legs to stabilise the Caravan while it's on site. And like I said, they are just there for stabilising and not lifting. The fresh water that goes in the front of the Caravan has to come out somewhere, and down the back of the Caravan you have your two grey waste pipes. So you can see there you've got two large diameter circles where you'll connect your grey pipe into, and that will drop down inside your aqua roll so the waste water can come out the back of the van. Obviously that's not your toilet fluid, that goes into a separate cassette. On the other side of the van you've got a storage locker, putting your bits and pieces in, where you can access the cupboard in the bathroom. You've then got your fridge vents. Fridge vents are essentially there to allow hot air at the back of the fridge unit and to take some cool air in, and behind one of those is also a gas flue for the gas system on board the fridge. You've then got your storage locker for underneath the front seating area and your barbecue gas point. You've got your wind down leg on either side of the front of the Caravan, as I pointed out on the other side, and again you'd never lift the Caravan with the legs. Going inside the Caravan, above the door, you've got your main control panel for the Caravan. You've got your on-off switch at the top here for the mains power. You've got your water tank fill and your water tank run. To run the system, you're just going to need to have the switch on the top, and to fill the onboard water tank, you're going to need to have the switch on the bottom side. So basically, if you want to fill the onboard tank, you'd connect your aqua roll on the outside and follow the same procedures for filling the water system direct to the taps, which I'll demonstrate in a moment, but instead of having it on the tap side, you'd have it on the tank side at the bottom. It will automatically cut out when the tank is full. You've then got your battery level and your onboard water level on the button on the end, but like I said, fill to taps, which is the way we're going to demonstrate it. On the top, push the switch upwards, and to fill the onboard water tank, you press the switch downwards. You'll also need, once you filled the onboard water tank, you'll need to put the switch back to the tap position so it can draw the water up to the taps from the onboard water tank. So, to fill the system, you're first of all going to come over to every tap on board the Caravan, open them all on the hot side, and then you're going to come underneath the front seat area. The Caravan hasn't been cleaned yet, so I do apologise. And underneath the seat, you'll see the yellow drain down valve. That yellow drain down valve is essentially at the moment in the fill position. If that valve was pointing upright towards the bottom of the seat, it would drain the water system down on board the Caravan. So like I said, parallel with the floor to fill the system, upright to drain all of the water system down, which you do need to do after every use of the Caravan. So once you've been away and you're on your way home, you'd open up that yellow valve, drain the water system down. It won't do any damage to the environment, as it is just fresh water that comes out of there. So all the taps open, like I said, on the hot side. Then to fill the system, you'll come to the control panel above the door, turn on the water pump, and then you'll notice the water starts pulling through from the aqua roll. So like I said, I'm just filling it from the tap side, so it just goes through your hot water tank instead of to the onboard tank. As you can see, water system is filling, and when that water starts running continuously through them taps, or once it has, like it has now, you can then shut down every tap on board the Caravan. But like I said, to fill the system, every tap on board the Caravan needs to be on the hot side. Once you've got the water system filled, you can then start warming the water on board the Caravan. So in the cupboard straight in front of the door, as you walk into the Caravan, you'll see you've got your mains trip switches and your 12-volt fuses. On the right hand side top of this panel just here, you have a control panel where you can flick between car and Caravan power. Now if you're towing down the road and you want to use the fridge as a cool box and charge the battery on board the Caravan, you'll need to have this switch on the car position. So you'll have it on the top, so you'll push it in at the top rather than push it in at the bottom, for when you're on site and you want to use the 12-volt battery. Battery charger you can leave on at all times, so it allows the battery to charge. Space heater main power switch you can leave on at all times, which is this one just here. Then at the bottom you've got your electric water heater. So you'd only turn on the electric water heater when you have water, or when you have the water system completely filled. So as you can see, the switch is on and the water system is starting to warm up. But like I said, you would never turn that on if the water system is empty, as potentially it could burn out the element inside the tank on the heater unit. So that is your controls for heating hot water on electric, space heater, battery charger, and the car and van switch, which like I said, if you're towing down the road you'll need to have it on car, and if you're on site you'll need to have it on van, which means Caravan, just abbreviated. So that's your heating on electric. On the front of the cabinet where you've got the dinette area, you'll actually see you've got two more controls. Those two controls are essentially one is for running the gas system for the water heater, which is this one on the right hand side. And to do that, you'd make sure the gas is turned on in the front locker. You'd spin the dial around to the gas symbol, and when it ignites on gas you'll have a green pilot light, which is just there now. At the moment it is trying to ignite, so in a moment you'll see the red light appear because there's no gas bottle on the van at the moment, so it'll actually fail to ignite. When you are showering on board the Caravan, you will need to use the gas system to make the water system boost. You can actually control the temperature on gas, unlike the water system, between 30 and 70 degrees. The electric water heater is set to a preset temperature of around 35 to 40 degrees. Next to that you have your power, or your heating power switch, or switch for the heating should I say. Now down the side of that switch you'll notice it says 500, 1000 and 2000. What that relates to is the amount of power that is coming into the Caravan from the Caravan site you're on. Now the best way to find out what power you have coming into the Caravan from the site you're on is by asking the site office, and they will recommend a power setting to have this on. So here on site we can find 500 watts of power. As you can see, I've selected 500. The green light has come on in there to let me know the heater has come on, and this is electric heating. I'll come to the gas in a moment. And then you can control the temperature of the heating on board the Caravan on the dial on the front. Obviously the higher you go, up to number 9 for instance, that is the highest setting for the heating. To turn the heater off, you'll spin it back to the off position in the centre, and that will be the electric heating turned off. To operate the gas heating on board the Caravan, on the front of the heater, on the top of the heater itself, you'll see this dial on the right hand side. The dial here has a self-igniting system, so it's got a battery on board that it helps it ignite. You'll hold down the gas valve once you've turned the gas supply on, and you'd have the valve between 10 and 9. Then in the front window of the heater you'll get a pilot light when it has ignited. You'll continue to hold down the gas valve until it's fully ignited, then slowly release the gas valve after 5 to 10 seconds of it being ignited, and you'll control the temperature of the heater on the dial on top. On the left hand side of the heater at the top you have your option for running blown air heating. Now at the moment I've got it turned on so it runs the fan system as like a fan essentially, like you got at home. So there's no heating turned on, but I've got the continuous blown air on. What that essentially does is it'll continue to blow cool air through the vents around the Caravan. Obviously if you've got the heating turned on gas or electric, then it will be warm air that it blows around the Caravan. The dot in the centre is the blown air turned off, and essentially if you've got the heater on, the heat will just come out the front of the heater. The A on top of the heater is essentially a thermostatic blown air, so it cuts in and out with the thermostat on board the van, and you can control the fan speed on the dial on top. Fridge, again, very simple to use. You've got the control panel on the front of the fridge. So you've got power off and power on the grey button at the bottom. You need to press and hold to turn the power off to the fridge. But to turn it on, you just press the button once. At the moment, as you can see, we're trying to ignite on gas. Now again, it will fail to ignite in a moment. First time you go to ignite anything on gas inside the Caravan, we do advise you run the hob first for the first time you've ignited it in the weekend, just so it gets gas through to the last point on the gas system, which is generally the hob on the cooker. If you're on gas or mains, you can control the temperature of the fridge on the button on the right hand side. If it fails to ignite, then it will flash the blue light here, as it's doing now, to let you know it has failed to ignite. Mains power is the mains power coming from the 240 volts, and again you can control the temperature of the fridge on the button on the right hand side. 12 volt mode is the 12 volt supply coming from the car you're towing with. Now that's where the switch in the cupboard comes into play. You'll need to have it on car mode to allow the 12 volt system on board the van to run. So once you connect it to the car, that blue light would essentially go solid and you wouldn't have the warning symbol on the right hand side here. It would just run off the 12 volt supply. So that's your heating, hot water and fridge. Cooker works very much like your household. As I've explained, when you first ignite the Caravan over the weekend, you would... So essentially everything will work on gas on the cooker apart from the 240 ring at the back. And the 240 ring will obviously only work when you've got mains power coming into the Caravan. However, the rest of it does work like your household. Toilet system, you have a blue flush button on top of the toilet. So you press the blue flush button to allow the toilet to flush. You have a toilet full indicator light that illuminates red when the toilet waste cassette is full. And down the front of the toilet you have your waste handle, which you open up, which allows the waste into the cassette underneath the Caravan. If that flap is open, then it will not allow you to put the waste into the cassette underneath. If that flap is open, it will not allow you to remove the cassette from under the van due to the fact it has a lockout tab in place. So when it's open, it will lock the cassette in place. Also, if the toilet seat is turned at all from the position it's in now, it will actually again stop you from removing that cassette from under the van, as it has a lockout tab on there as well, essentially to stop the cassette being removed when you are using the loo on board the van. So that's the Bessacarr Cameo 525 SL. If you have any further questions on the van, please don't hesitate to call and we'll be more than happy to answer them. We appreciate the business and we look forward to seeing you here on site soon when you collect your Caravan. Thank you for now. Bye bye.